And if someone especially wants to see us, you press on the right button.
How about this? We hook up all our chairs to a mild electric shock, and at random, when you push it, it shocks someone, incling yourself potentially.
I think we should be able to pick.
No, I think that's more fun. Is like,
This happened in the Simpsons episode. I think I know what we should do.
What we should do?
Have the jingle, the tribute jingle, hooked up to these buttons, and that should be our doorbell.
That's a great idea. On the heels of this great idea, you are listening to the Tribute Games podcast. The Tribute Games podcast is a podcast recorded within the halls of Tribute Games Studios in Montreal, where we make a whole bunch of indie games, and these are pretty much our conversations. We learn. If you listen to this, you might learn how the video game sausage is made. And that's pretty much it. Talking to you right now is Yannick Belzil. I'm a writer and social media manager at Tribute Games. And to my left, all in gray, there's...
Dom 2D, I'm a game designer.
In front of me, all in black, there's...
I'm the man in black. Justin Sear, game design and animation.
Dressed in pink, with huge white dots. And hats.
Theater of the mind, Steph.
Pimping it up, Stefan, artist.
Andy, a programmer.
He's wearing his famous programming poncho.
Yes.
And to my right, there's our making his second appearance, but is finishing up his first full week at Tribute Games.
Johan, animator.
Yay!
And in the peanut gallery behind me.
Hi.
We have an audience.
Yes. Yeah. Johan, how was your first week at Tribute?
What can I say?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that.
It was very nice. You were nice people with me, so that's
It took you a long time to say that. I feel like you may be hesitating.
No, because I was hesitating between the human side of the experiment and the work side.
You started on a big challenge right away, working on character design like first week.
Yes, and it's pretty fun because we have to test a lot of stuff, a bunch of new things, and everything is to do.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, it's pretty open.
yes.
Yeah, so, well, that's pretty exciting right now. We're working on our upcoming project, which now has a code name that we'll use to refer to it.
Yeah.
And what is this code name? Dom?
We just decided we would call it Space Pirates, because that's what we call it in-house.
Oh, I thought we'd all agree on Dig Butt. Jesus.
We're gonna come up with a random name that meant nothing, but I know that we would not use it in-house. So why not just call it what it is? It's a placeholder name, but it still represents the game a little bit more.
So yeah, we had a lot of excitement on Project Space Pirate this week because as you were looking for something to do, Johan, you started working on ideas and iterations for the character, and now it seems to be forming around a specific shape, and it looks like we're finding what our main character looks like for the upcoming project. So would you two guys, and Stefan as well, talk about that? How do you feel about that? I'm excited, personally.
It's funny because it was super open-ended for the longest time, because I didn't want to settle on anything at first. I wanted the artist to be in the process with me. So now we just tried a bunch of things, and we kind of just watched the reactions of everybody. I think that one character that we like now, everybody kind of had a good reaction towards it. So it's a good start, I guess, if everybody has kind of connection right away.
Yeah.
And now we just need to evolve it, and there's a billion ways we can do it.
Yeah, the tricky part is defining the style of the art. Yeah. Because it's another open question yet. Mm-hmm. So we are working on the character and the style at the same time, and it's quite fun.
Yeah. Outlines, no outlines, how many colors, what's the movement, the size of the head, the size of the hands. It's cool. I was glad to have everybody on it for a little bit at least this week. That was fun.
And it's cool because, like you said, it was we talked about a bunch of stuff for a pretty long time, and it changed direction a couple of times. Yep. And now this new character kind of helped focus and bring back most of the stuff we talked about.
The best elements that we had worked on before.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think this character will be bigger than Mickey Mouse.
Mickey who?
All right.
Well, you know what? You're right. The only I care about now is Mickey Mantle. Because Mickey Mouse is gone.
You know, they actually did a survey with a bunch of kids, and more of them knew who Mario was than Mickey Mouse. Yeah. And this was a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I think it was in the 90s.
That goes to show.
Who do you think kids know more about now?
Maybe Spider-Man.
Probably Spider-Man, yeah. Mm-hmm. Who's better than Mickey Mouse anyway, let's face it.
Yeah.
But,
actually, Mickey Mouse owns Spider-Man. So.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse does own Spider-Man now. Justin, you've been doing a lot of work on Curses and Chaos this week. Like, so what's happening on the Curses and Chaos front as we all race towards PAX?
The finish line? Yeah.
Finish line and PAX as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're gearing up in a big way. To present
everything, and we're starting over again.
Yeah, exactly. We're just trying to make sure that what we decide on to show for PAX, because that's going to be our big flagship this year. Mm-hmm. We've also got our secret project that we hinted at last week. So I guess the real trick now is to sort of manage prepping stuff for PAX, which includes a lot of printing and promotional stuff, building our booth and designing it, as well as finishing what we want to show for PAX, which should coincide very soon with the release, but we don't want to jump the gun and give any dates yet. Mm-hmm. So what did we do? Tying up a bunch of loose ends, finishing a lot of items. John's still full swing on bosses. I guess that's the biggest chunk that's left. And pretty soon we're going to tackle some menus. So, but I think we're only going to get back to that once we're done from PAX. Now it's just basically focusing on what are we going to show and how much of it.
Also, there was a really cool thing that happened this week. We got some really cool fan art.
Oh yeah,
from Felipe Martins.
Yeah.
Yes.
How does it feel to see not only just fan art in general, but really cool, professional grade fan art?
Yeah.
I feel threatened.
Yeah, that's what can I say? That came out of nowhere. We were just. I in particular was very stoked. Everyone loved it. So I never would have. It's the kind of thing you hope happens, but you never expect it. So when it does, you just feel really kind of humbled and grateful. That's
especially when. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty cool because the fan art was made from a bunch of stuff we already shown from the game, but it still really looks and feels like it was made by someone who knew the whole story behind it.
Who knows about all the enemies and all
exactly.
Just the coolest
really
parts.
Really understood pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there's
universe.
Because you are doing some art for the game as well, and we have not shown it yet, but we received the original the box art for the game, and which is. All those versions are very different from each other, but they all feel like they're part of the same cool interpretations of those pixels and those small characters that have been created.
Yeah. They all could be illustrations in Nintendo Power about the game.
Yeah. That's exactly kind of how we've always approached anyone who's doing art on it, is do almost like old Katsuya Terada illustrations, because he would just take those tiny sprites and interpret them as he sees fit, and he always added gnarly stitching and just so much design and detail that didn't exist on these things. And I think that's something that we all gravitate and love, is just to see people's interpretations of very basic sprites. Because I think that's also kind of the charm of such small sprites, is they are almost so small and abstract that it does kind of open your mind to a lot of possibilities. So that was fun.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It was very cool to get that art from Felipe. It was. I hope more people do art for us. It's always impressive.
We got a couple of questions through the Twitter this week without even prompting them, which is exciting, which is great.
Wouldn't that be awkward if one of them was from
our audience here?
Questions,
do you have questions?
Well, I have, but every night I get feedback from what's going on here. So
okay. Well, one point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Hey Kim, who's the cutest?
I'm biased.
Really? Well, that goes without saying.
Yes. Our very own Salt and Pepper Angel.
Oh my gosh.
Nicholas BK at Sorano Maru asked us, he wrote to us, please write a blog post about the design of the dance move idol in Curses and Chaos. They saw it at the demo night. You might have seen it in our gameplay video that's on YouTube. Our gameplay video with commentary. So, what is the dance move that you can do in Curses and Chaos, and where does it came from? What happens around it? What is it?
Well, that came about from something that we had read from the Yacht Club games. They had a post about just their down input command.
Shovel Knight.
What did I say?
You said Yatla, but not everybody knows.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Night,
Right. So yeah, they're in their game, when you press down, your character just goes down a pixel. And they wrote a whole article about it, explaining how it's something people love doing. Because in any downtime moment, you can just press down and it looks like your character does a little useless dance.
It has no function. It's just purely...
None.
Yeah.
And it's great. But we decided to do something like that because, there's not a lot of downtime. But, people would just be like running like idiots whenever nothing was happening on screen. So we thought, let's give them a dance move.
You're always looking for something to do while you have nothing to do. So you either run on the ground or you jump around and kick, but now you have something to do.
Right. So, but because the characters were so small and it would have been kind of lame to just rip out the same idea, we actually bothered to animate a dance, and that was cool. But then we thought, hey, wouldn't that be cool if they actually rack up some points while dancing? So it gave a purpose to the move, and because you've got like the crazy point multiplier, it actually adds a weird level of depth to it because the game seems to have turned more about like maxing out your high score. Depending on how well you dance, actually has a big function now. So that's how it came about.
I think it should have been separated, like dance points. So you can have
style points.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you can have like fighting high score and dancing high score.
Yeah, but something I thought that was fun is part of the story was supposed to be that like these bounty hunters kind of brought the curse upon themselves because they were a bit too cocky. But that was the original story, and it's kind of hard to maybe explain. Anyway. But I thought that the dance moves, because they're sort of like dancing in the face of death and all these monsters, kind of brings that back. So it actually has a lot of meaning instead of just being this useless thing, and it's fun. People responded well to it. I was really worried because the girl does like a booty shake, and in this environment when people are very like seemingly angry about stuff like that, you don't want it to be seen as like misogynistic or like, just what's the word, like exploitative.
Yeah.
Right. But again, it fits with the nature of it, and because we've got a male character in the game too, we wanted to give him just as silly and outrageous as a dance.
I think when you show the first the male character Leo dances, I think Johan suggested that he should be looking left and right as he dances, as if he wants to see if anyone's looking at him. And I just thought that just adding that detail makes it like twice as funny or charming or even just really it adds a lot of character.
Yeah. And that was great because I think that was like in the first moments of his first day. I had just finished doing the animation, and he's like, what do you think? And he thought, maybe I'm look left and right. And it added to it. So I was like, yeah, this guy's going to fit in.
So
Yeah.
So we're going to sell dance moves as DLC, right?
Yeah.
$10 a move.
Helicopter date for $1.
It also lays the foundation for the movie adaptation to be a musical as well, I think.
Question number 2.
Someone, Eric Mailer, says, I enjoy the podcast. Thank you. And he has sort of a big question. What is your earliest video game memory?
It's actually when I got my NES. Like, I remember getting the NES and Mario Brothers 1. And, I mean, it's not detailed, but I remember getting it and freaking out, discovering those pixels and going left or right. It was amazing.
Yeah, I remember as a kid playing my first Mario game, thinking that you could get mushrooms over and over and over, and that Mario could be like screen size at one point. Like, he would be a giant destroying all of it. I was filled with hope. And then you get a flower? What is that?
He's pretty hippie in a sense.
Mario?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's about mushrooms and
flower power.
Yeah. Well, he's looking for a lot of coins, though. Maybe that's not that hippie, though. But he's looking for his princess, and he lives in a psychedelic world.
So he represents the missing link between hippies and capitalism.
Yes, and he's a blue-collar worker as well. He's a plumber.
And to reinforce the point, what Mushroom Kingdom was in the Japanese version?
What?
Woodstock. Yeah.
I don't think hippies punch turtles all the time, though.
Well, no, they step on their shells. Okay. Those drug-filled hippies. How about you, Justin? Your first video game memory?
It's very sort of just general and vague, but being a little kid, I always remembered seeing arcades anywhere I went and just being fascinated by them. Like, I think maybe my earliest memory would be my parents would curl.
Yes.
And, like, if they didn't have a baby.
Curling.
Curling, yeah. True Canadians.
Yes.
And they whenever, they would take us, whenever they'd do like a bonspiel or something, you just sit around watching curling. You don't know what's what. But then you see...
this looks like just sweeping. It looks like cleaning.
Yeah,
there's nothing,
it's like, come on.
for a kid in there.
Why would you do that?
I mean, at least as a kid, with hockey... Players look like they're wearing maybe futuristic armor, so that's sort of cool. But otherwise, for a kid, there's nothing there.
Yeah, exactly. And so you just always see these like glowing boxes in the corners of rooms and stuff. So
that just
weird. It does.
Glowing boxes in the corners of rooms.
But when you're like, maybe 4 and 5 years old, that's exactly what it is.
And it's way taller than you are.
Yeah.
And the screen is sort of glowy, and there's stuff that seems appealing going on it, and you have to step on a bench or something to get on it. It's an adventure to find an arcade.
I should also say I was with my brother, so it's not like my parents were just leaving me alone and stuff. So
go fetch the glowing box in the corner.
Yeah. But no, it's just a very vague memory of just being in places and seeing these like tall cabinets and just being fascinated. Cool like box art on the side. Always gravitated towards video games in that way as a kid.
How about you, Stefan?
I don't remember actually getting an NES, but I had one. But I remember going, I don't remember if it was maybe Toys R Us, or I have like an image of, it looks almost like a hardware tool shop. Mm-hmm. Like a wall full of holes and hooks with boxes of game boxes.
Huh.
Could have been Canadian Tire, because for a while they had video games, right?
Maybe that's it. And buying a game there, like I just remember the visual of that wall of not that much boxes actually, just maybe like 3 or 4 games and maybe one NES, and picking one. I think that's probably my earliest memory of video games. One summer, that's maybe my most traumatizing memory. I played the Super Mario World so much that I think I went crazy for a couple days, and I was seeing Mario and those little football player enemies.
I think they called them
Charging Chuck.
The Charging Chucks.
God,
yes.
It was really awful. I didn't play after that for a couple of weeks.
Did you ever come back though?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it'd be cool to think you went crazy as a kid and you've just lived in this.
Yeah, I went completely.
You can't leave the dinosaur kingdom forever.
Completely psycho, and I still have an imaginary friend.
So Andy, yours is a PS3 game? No, not that.
I'm not that young.
Sorry. Yeah.
So I grew up kind of in a household with like a bunch of game consoles growing up. Like my dad collected a whole bunch of 8-bit computers, and like he had, I don't know, Atari 2600, 800 XL, Intellivision, ColecoVision, all sorts of like different consoles. And I just remember like Centipede or Millipede, I forget which one exactly, but like, I don't know, just like this shooter kind of game where there's like this bug crawling down the screen and you have to shoot.
Yeah.
And then I guess a little bit later, I remember, I think at the time we didn't actually own an NES, but we just wanted to rent one for a weekend because we weren't sure we wanted one kind of thing, and ended up like renting that and Kirby's Adventure at the time. Yeah. And that game is still great to this day. It really blew me away as a kid, just like probably one of my favorite platforms.
Oh yeah,
of all
it's
time.
fantastic.
Yeah, the whole ability copying mechanic is just really
It's very friendly too. Like a lot of games back then were hard to get into. That's for kids, I guess. They were hard or like not looking so
but they were near the end cycle of the NES and moving on to the Super NES, and now it was much more cool and radical. Video games were getting radicalized.
Totally.
Yeah.
Something
They
cool
were tubular.
I've always thought about Kirby is the number of like unique music tracks there are in that game.
Oh yeah, there's tons of like different tracks, like different overworld games and stuff for every level. That was pretty much all I had to say. But yeah, probably was a good choice as the first game I ever played for the Nintendo, or one of the first. I think I played Mario Brothers before that. I forget exactly, but yeah, I don't know, just really approachable and fun.
How about you, Johan? What are your first memories?
I just realized I'm the Andy's secret brother, because my father was kind of a geek too and collected a lot of old systems like Atari, or he had them all. Now it depends what you call video games because we had the
It could be a computer game or
no
Tiger.
Yes, we had
Tiger
some
Electronics.
but the Game and Watch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So I think I began with this, and I remember my father had the Warlord on the VSC.
Oh wow.
oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, and that was 4-player games. So we were playing with all my family, and that was like the Wii party game style before the Wii.
That's
And
awesome.
That was cool. That's a good memory.
For me, I remember playing games on a computer with an old Tandy 1000 TX that my dad had gotten. And I remember playing a lot of old King Quest 2, Police Quest, all those games, and a submarine simulation game called Gato, which means cat. And console-wise, I think the first big memory was the Smurf game on ColecoVision.
Oh god, that game.
Because I remember those big, pixely Smurfs that were still pretty close to looking like the actual
Peyo.
Smurfs, the Peyo drawing in the cartoons and in the comic books. So I was really impressed that there was something that was sort of like a cartoon, but not quite a cartoon, but you could interact with it and make it move around and stuff like that. So, and I remember, I think I mentioned this in the podcast, I remember this being at a neighbor's, and my parents told me that I could not go to the neighbor's house, but all of my friends could. So everyone was inside playing, and I was outside, like
the window.
my face pushed on the window,
Wait.
looking at everyone else play but me.
Why did you get singled out?
I don't know. My parents just didn't want me to go bother the neighbors or something.
Wow.
So, but I never did end up playing that magnificent.
How old were you?
I was pretty young. It must have been like 4 or 5, maybe. What years are Coleco?
No, it's like 80s, 82, 83.
Yeah, so I must have been like maybe 4 or 5. Yeah.
And fun fact about Coleco. Do you know what it stands
This
for?
fact better be fun, Justin.
Oh, you betcha. Because it sounds Japanese like Coleco.
Yes.
In fact, it stands for Connecticut Leather Company.
You know what? That's a good fact. That's a good trivia fact, and I appreciate those. Thank you, Justin.
I did it.
Okay, so our last question comes from at Phoenix849, who is an artist and has an art question for Stefan.
Oh god.
Yes, so he was referring to the first screenshots of Curses and Chaos, which had the old backgrounds that Justin made, and they were much more brighter. So he was wondering why did you came up with the idea to make the palette of background more
Muted.
muted or subdued.
There's
instead
still
of Justin.
more colors, but it's desaturated.
Yeah. So what was your decision or process behind that?
Wow. I don't know.
You know.
I just
Instinct, man.
Yeah, probably. I just
Because
tried
you-
some stuff. I wasn't really necessarily going for anything at first. I just tried some stuff that seemed right to me.
I mean, you were probably looking for a way to make the characters pop because they weren't popping as much before.
At first, not really. I wasn't really even thinking about the characters. I really just, I don't know. I just tried some colors and
that's just how good you are. Yeah.
no, but
No, it's true.
Well, I still don't think. I think maybe I should go back over some of them. I think the characters maybe don't necessarily pop enough on some backgrounds. It was pretty hard to tweak because like the characters have really bright and really dark colors and middle.
Yeah, one
Midtones,
neutral
yeah.
bright color.
Yeah,
in the middle.
midtones. In almost all of them, so you can't go too bright with the backgrounds because then you have like half of them won't pop, and you can't go too dark because then half of them won't pop, and you can't be really in the middle because then the other half won't. So
You have to go like 25% either way.
yeah. So it was a bit hard, but I only like tried to fix that after I'd done all the backgrounds and colors.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And all of the backgrounds are the same palette, right? 16 or 32 colors?
There's 32 colors overall,
Mhm.
and then there's 16 colors for in each background. But those colors can vary in the 32 palette.
There are a few backgrounds nobody has seen before, right?
Oh.
Still?
Yes. I think we've seen maybe
Less than half.
Less than half of the backgrounds, and we'll probably see more next week when this will come out on Monday, and on Friday it's likely that you will see a brand new background for.
Because some of the late game backgrounds are insane.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
So insane.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because Stefan did the backgrounds, but Justin animated most of them, right?
Animated all of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
Done a pretty good job. I just saw this week the last background.
Yep.
The boss fight background. Added some lightnings in the windows. And
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
It was fun. I had a blast animating them, and I still hold my ground and say someday we should do a fighting game because it's all like single screen stuff with just like slight animations in the background, and we all love animation, so I'm just putting it out there right now. Someday we're gonna make a fighting game.
Well, you could do a mod for your own game. Leo versus Slayer.
Oh man, that could work. So we'll see. Hey, look, if it does well enough, maybe we'll see some funky DLC.
Could there be like a fighting game with such small characters, or does the genre necessitates like really huge characters?
I don't know. You look at something like you can have competitive games. Look at Towerfall. That game pulls it off.
Or Samurai Gun and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty small.
Yeah, but Towerfall has like you have the whole
arena
level element. I'm thinking about like a Street Fighter. Like a Street Fighter, does that need all those huge characters, or could it be done with smaller characters?
We've as small as we've seen it, and Johan will back me up, is on the Neo Geo Pocket, and
Works very well.
it does.
Yes.
So, I mean, as small as we have them, I don't think so, but I'd be willing to try as a challenge. But just to buff them up, maybe even like twice their size.
200%.
Hey, dude, we're rolling.
Yeah.
High rolling.
Yes.
So, maybe. But yeah, something's gonna happen.
Wait, if you blew them up to twice their size,
They'd be third.
what would be the resolution of the game? Would it be like 100
It would be no. It's what's 240 by 135,
divided by 2?
or doubled up.
No, divided by 2 because the sprites are twice as big, so it'd be like 120 by something.
Oh my god!
It would work on an old cell phone.
Yeah, still. So.
Well, on that great resolution math tidbit.
Yeah, maths. Yeah.
Yes. I hated them then. I hate them now, but we need them.
Yeah, we need them.
And with that, we'll close this episode of the Tribute Game Podcast, unless someone has played something of note this week.
I played 30 straight days, the dumb cat game that I mentioned before, and now I stopped playing it forever. So I won't ever talk about Battle Cats again.
Okay.
I was very excited. Props to Matt Cap and Tyrone Rodriguez on the launch of Castle in the Darkness. I think I mentioned it previously. It's just like a side-scroller action game. Really good game.
Let us know when you've played it.
I did.
You did? Oh.
For over an hour already, and it's really awesome. It's very hardcore, very punishing. Castle in the Darkness, it's out on Steam now, so do a little plug for these guys. Congratulations again. Steph?
Did you play anything?
I played a bunch of stuff, but I don't know. Volgar, the Viking. It was pretty cool, super hardcore, retro feel to it. It's a 2D platformer. I also tried Hack and Slash from Double Fine, which had a really promising premise where you can actually hack the code.
Oh, yeah. I remember
as
that.
a gameplay feature. I don't know. I didn't really like it. I thought, it was interesting, but they didn't actually do any... Well, there's gameplay, but it's not like directed gameplay. It's
Open.
Yeah, I don't know if a programmer would have played it. He could have maybe helped me out on this one. I don't know if you're a programmer, if you can actually enjoy more the game, because it gets really, really tricky and hard to understand what you're actually doing, because
you're hacking the game.
You're really going deep inside the code. Like the final dungeon is, you go through the whole programming tree of the game, represented as a bunch of hexagonal rooms. It's really complex, and I actually didn't know what to do, so I just stopped playing and I watched a walkthrough of it. Like the guy in the walkthrough kind of hacked the game, and he went straight for a main feature that just canceled all the traps and enemies and bosses, and he just walked straight through to the last boss. Yeah. So it's like you can actually.
It's how you make a game into not a game anymore.
Yeah, but the whole idea of it was really interesting and fun. I just think if they'd have actually organized some simpler gameplay around it, it would have been nicer.
How about you, Andy?
Well, I'll just go really short, but I've been playing a few PC Engine games, TurboGrafx, as it's known in North America, which is kind of an old 16-bit system. Anyway, I've been playing Gradius 2, which is a nice, straightforward side-scrolling shooter. And then Super Star Soldier, which is another really fun...
Just an approved.
I'm just nodding my head approvingly here. Yeah.
Very good. And I recently got a piece of hardware delivered that apparently will let me load ROMs onto it. And
what?
Be able to
ROMs?
Just put in an SD card and...
So ROMs of the games that you own, right?
Yeah, of the games I own or games I develop.
Oh, nice.
But,
cool.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of, I guess, yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, Persona Q, that was another game that I've been recently playing. It's kind of like a weird spin-off of both Etrian Odyssey, like dungeon exploring, kind of in first person, and Persona's weird, stylized
craziness.
It's hard to explain if you haven't played one of those games, but just really...
Are you a Persona guy?
Yeah, I really enjoy Persona, and Persona 5 was recently
well, that's what I was going to ask,
and it looks amazing.
Yeah, it seems like all the Persona fans are going nuts over 5.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, just based on the one cutscene I've seen, or the trailer they put out, yeah.
How about you, did you play anything this week?
Yes, actually I'm playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night for the first time ever.
Wow.
And it's amazing. I'm just enjoying all the art of the game, all the animations, and that's the first time I'm so deep into a Castlevania game. It gave me... I just want to try other Castlevania after this one, and that's pretty... everything.
I've been playing Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator to finish freelance contracts at home.
Did you finish it?
No, it's never ending.
So
I don't remember when I started. I don't know if I'll ever end.
It's a game with many layers.
Yes.
Oh, shit. Line of the day.
Yes, so, well, now it's time to end for sure. So, before we leave, though, I'd like to, if you want to...
I'm sorry, that's too good.
Just drop the mic.
Before we leave, you can find Tribute at Tribute Games on Twitter and tributegames.com on the internet. Facebook.com/tribute on Facebook, and you can find this very podcast on a brand new site at tributegamespodcast.tumblr.com.
Yeah.
That made by Dom right here. He made us a sweet Tumblr for the podcast, so you can check that out there. You can follow it.
Finally use my Tumblr addiction for something good.
Exactly. And you can find me at Yannick Belzil on Twitter, where I just spout off dumb stuff about pop culture generally.
Yeah.
Dom, where can we find you?
I'm at Dom2D on Twitter, Tumblr, and all that.
Justin_Sears, CYR, Twitter.
JGS Boutin on Tumblr.
Yes, and you're with your the person assisting tonight in the audience is your webmaster, your social media presence.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Your manager.
how do you say bull?
Bull.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Whipmaster? I don't know.
No, that sounds
Yeah,
wrong.
no, that's
Taskmaster?
Taskmaster. No,
It sort of works. Yeah.
yeah, but that's not what I mean.
Yeah.
This is going to turn into one of those, shave those sideburns.
Executor. Yeah.
Yeah,
Execution.
Yeah,
That sounds...
whatever.
All right.
All this great
Life coach.
vocabulary stuff goes on and on and on. Andy, where can we find you?
Okay, so I'm Eggboy Color on Twitter and i.make.pg for my Tumblr.
And what about you, Johan? Where can we find you and your work?
Johan Vinet, Tumblr and Twitter.
Thanks, guys, for being around the table for this wonderful episode. Thanks to you at home for listening. And if you've enjoyed this, well, we'll talk at you next week.
Yes.
Bye. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.